Hello, and welcome to the first in a series of videos produced by the Hofstra Law Library Reference Librarians about using AI for legal research. By way of introduction, my name is Isaac Samuels, and I am one of the reference librarians working on this project for the Hofstra Law Library. This is the first in a series of videos produced by my colleagues and I to introduce you to the latest tool for legal research, artificial intelligence. The presentation will be broken down into 6 parts. I will take you through the first 2, this introduction, and an introduction to the various tools, some of them at least, that can be used for research, at which point one of my co-librarians will take over, and so on and so on. So what exactly is AI? Well, this gets rather technical and philosophical. I think, therefore I am. Does that mean if this thinks it's alive? What exactly is intelligence? What exactly is thinking? But that's a little too deep for what we're doing right now, and I'm not a philosopher. So for our purposes, we're going to keep it simple. AI is a machine or program that simulates human intelligence to facilitate interaction and usability. So basically what we're saying is the AI is going to be more of like interacting with a person rather than typing into a database. You can be more conversational, ask follow-up questions, and that sort of thing. So since AI is a person, quote unquote, does that mean we no longer need attorneys or that attorneys are going away? And the answer to that is thankfully no. AIs are just another tool for attorneys to use to expedite and refine tasks like legal research. And attorneys have been using tools to assist in legal research for centuries. You've all used secondary sources before, but as a quick refresher, a secondary source is any resource that explains, summarizes, or helps a researcher find a primary source, which is the law. So you can think of legal encyclopedias, head notes on West and Lexis, American law reports, or any other treatise that you've used. And you know from using these that just because you have a good treatise or secondary source, does that mean that the treatise can craft an argument for you? The answer is no. Does that mean it's going to tell you that the law is definitely correct? No, you have to check. So AI is merely the latest evolution of secondary sources. It can help you explain the law and it can help you move more efficiently, but ultimately the responsibility is on you to craft your arguments and to make sure that everything is correct. Now, you're going to be hearing this from me at least twice and from my colleagues also. Remember that you are the person responsible ultimately for what comes back because you're submitting it under your signature. And the AI can't be sued for malpractice or sanctioned, but you sure can. So make sure to keep that in mind and be very careful when using AI tools. So what tools exist for AI research? Well, I like to say it's not a matter of if AI will be incorporated into legal research or legal practice more generally. It already is. It's here. Firms are using it to streamline tasks, to increase productivity. And you have a great opportunity here to learn the different tools that will help you as this next evolution comes to pass. So I'm sure you're getting sick of hearing about different legal research tools. Every company seems to have their own Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and you might already have tried out some programs like ChatGPT that do more general internet research. But in addition to these generalized products, there are some companies offering AI assistants that are dedicated specifically to legal research. Now, why is that an advantage over a general tool? Well, legal research AIs are focused on one specific task. For example, legal research. So more resources are dedicated to that assignment than, say, a general tool, which might scrape different types of things from the internet, social sciences, that sort of thing. And this makes mistakes less likely. You might have heard some horror stories about ghost citations or phantom citations, ChatGPT or other products making fake citations so it looks like a professionally written document, but it really is just gobbledygook. So, like we said before, you have to check citations for legal research, but using a legal research dedicated tool makes this less likely. But again, definitely still check before you submit anything. So one of two tools that we're going to talk about today is Protege, which is an AI produced by LexisNexis. Protege is a closed universe of case law codes, rules, constitutions, decisions, etc., that is available through your LexisNexis account. It's a closed universe, meaning that it's limited solely to Lexis. It's not going to scrape the entire internet. It's going to find only sources that are verified by Lexis and will help by presenting them in a way that's going to be useful for a legal research professional. The most basic task you can do on Protege is simply using the Ask feature. You can limit your question by jurisdiction or by civil versus criminal. You can really ask it anything you want, but if you want to test it out with a sample question, here's one that I've used. What is an ocean-going vessel in New York? So you can type that into the Ask feature on Protege, and after it processes, it will give you an answer with sources linked to items on Lexis. So you can click the sources and view them to verify them. It can also suggest follow-up questions to continue the conversation. Now, not to be outdone, of course, Westlaw has their AI product, which is called CoCounsel. The Westlaw AI is the same as the Lexis one in the sense that it is a closed universe. But rather than fishing in the LexisNexis pond exclusively, it's fishing in the Westlaw pond exclusively. So it's going to have similar functions. It's going to find case law codes, rules, etc. But again, it's going to be tied to Westlaw. Now, it's got other functions, just like Protege. You can do drafting, research, summarizing, etc. But like we said on Protege, we're going to only stick to the legal research aspect of it because this is a very brief introduction to legal research, and you can check out the other tools. I highly recommend that. But right now, we're going to focus on that legal research component. And CoCounsel lets you ask a general question like Protege, but you can also use subcategories called skills to kind of narrow your focus a little bit or narrow yourself to the part of the AI that'll be most useful. And that can be helpful, but it isn't mandatory. So you get two options with CoCounsel for your results, AI-assisted research or search and summarize. AI-assisted will limit it to primary sources, and search and summarize rather will supplement with trusted secondary sources. So you can test this out by asking CoCounsel the same question that we asked on Protege. What is an ocean-going vessel in New York? And once it processes, you'll see that CoCounsel provides an answer with links to sources on Westlaw, whereas Protege provided answers with links to sources on Lexis. CoCounsel also lets you break down your results by cases, statutes, regulations, etc., if that will help you to narrow your focus. So this is a very, very, very basic intro to artificial intelligence and some of the tools available to a legal research professional. If you have any questions about these tools, you can always contact us at the reference email above, and we will provide links below the video that will take you to Lexis and Westlaw's dedicated pages for helping with their AI products. Thank you very much for listening. I'm going to turn it over to one of my co-librarians for the next part of this. Happy researching.